The Biden administration facing growing heat over its response to the crisis in Israel. CNN's Jake Tapper grilling National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan over why more is not being done to rescue the presumed 13 missing Americans.
And frankly, Jake, if my kids were being held hostage in Gaza, and as you know, there are Americans being held hostage in Gaza right now, I'd want you to send in the Navy SEALs.
Well, the president has been very clear that he has no higher priority than getting Americans back safe.
The Israelis are bombing the crap out of Gaza, Jake. I mean, it doesn't seem like saving the hostages are a priority at all right now.
Let's bring in White House columnist for The Hill, Niall Stanage. Niall, obviously, we want to be cautious about revealing what's happening on the ground here as a matter of security. But what is it going to take to satisfy the American public's curiosity over what is being done, if anything, is able to be done while Israel continues its airstrikes?
So Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, was being quite guarded about that in a few Sunday shows, not wanting to jeopardize sensitive negotiations. He does say the administration is working with third-party governments to try to expedite this. It's also worth saying there is a lot we literally don't know. Sullivan said we can't even pinpoint exactly where these missing Americans are yet. On a human or emotional level, President Biden did conduct a virtual call with the families of these missing Americans on Friday, that call lasting about an hour. So that's what's happening, but obviously it's still a long way from a resolution.
I think the issue, though, is that he's saying that the president has a priority to rescue American lives and that admitted in live television that they don't know where they are, which would make any person, educated or not, understand that maybe the White House has no idea how to rescue anyone because they are clueless based on the territory, based on the tunnel system that Hamas uses. Also, the number of Americans, could that change? Are you hearing any kind of chatter about us really not being sure exactly how many hostages Hamas has taken?
Yes, absolutely. That's a really important point. There is no definitive answer to that yet. I've seen everything from 13 to 15 cited, depending on which source you use. It's also worth noting, as Robert Sherman reported from Israel earlier on, the Israeli government has just today upped its estimate of the total number of hostages to 199, having previously stood at 150. So that does, I think, just underline how much is changeable in this situation, how much we still don't know. And then on top of that, I mean, hostage taking and how to rescue hostages is just an inherently really difficult problem, both practically and morally speaking.
Well, and you think about it, there's this line, this trapeze line that the White House has to walk in sending off this compassionate message to both sides of the conflict and to make sure that they unanimously say they stand with Israel, while at the same time, we know that the impossibilities of going into this particular area, the Gaza Strip, could be basically a death sentence to any special ops that go in to achieve hostage rescue.
Yes, and therein lies both the gravity of the situation and the political risk. I mean, not to go too deep into history, but there have been other instances like this, including President Carter back in 1980 tried to mount a mission to free U.S. hostages in Tehran, and that was a terrible failure. 8 servicemen were killed, and they never got to the hostages. So there are obvious risks, particularly in a situation as bleak and complicated as Gaza. If you go in with military force, there's no guarantee of success, and failure is catastrophic. If you try to negotiate, then it raises the whole question of whether you're incentivizing hostage-taking or rewarding your enemies. And no one thinks it's an option to do nothing. So that's what makes it such a conundrum.
Yeah, we can't do nothing. Forgive the double negative. But real quickly, do you believe that President Biden will travel to Israel?
I think it seems likely from the sort of chatter that we're hearing. There are some risks to that, particularly if the situation deteriorated while he was there. But obviously, the administration has been at pains to stress its support for Israel. We've seen both Secretary of State Tony Blinken and the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin already.
Yes, as well as that bilateral group of senators. Niall Stanage, good to have you on, as always. We'll talk again soon.
Take care, Adrienne.
You too.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.